right, so I had a doctor's appointment since the last video. I had a check-in, 30-day or whatever, monthly check-in. And it's confirmed that I lost 14 pounds since I started. So that would have been, a little over 2 months. And so that's good news. And, but he said he wants me to step up my game. Now, I appreciate a challenge. I really do. But I'll tell you what's hard is that when I walk for a long time, for example, Friday, I did a bunch of grocery shopping early in the day. Then I went out to Costco in the evening and did a lot of shopping there as well. And my right foot was hurting really bad that evening, and then even the next morning it was it didn't take any time at all for me to walk on it, and it would start hurting again. And then up in my hip area, God, it's like I'm so old. Okay, but then up in my hip area, that's been hurting, and so I've been really trying to stretch that out, and the DDPY bed flex that I've been doing has been helping in that area. Whoops, sorry. So he said I was taking the easy way out, which, yeah, I've been not really getting my heart rate up and really working hard. I've been eating well, but he said he wanted me to step up my heart rate so that I could drop a little more. Now, I know in 2 months, so let's see, two and a half months? What is this week? Well, it would be week 10. So, yeah, so, 14 pounds in 2 months, that's actually really good. That's more than, a pound a week. So, but I hear them, I get it. I've been just concentrating on eating and not really moving. And so I can already tell by doing extra DDPY workouts that I can already tell that there's a little bit of a difference. And I also added something into my supplements. I traded something out because I discovered bile salts. I don't know if you have heard of bile salts, but I don't have a gallbladder, and when I got it out, which was like 17 years ago, and it was an emergency. It was so bad. It was gangrenous, and it was full of sludge and stones, and so it had to come out. Good thing it didn't rupture, but it had to come out. And so when I asked the doctor afterwards, do I need to change my diet? I mean, like, what's going to happen? And he's like, oh, no, you're going to be good. Just, carry on, you can live without a gallbladder. But apparently some of the things that I've discovered recently, that your gallbladder does a huge part in your digestion with bile. And I will explain a little bit more of it when I get into my chair. Okay, bile salts, bile, and your gallbladder. And you also need your liver too. So we're going to talk about this for a second. Okay, so I can explain what bile salts do. Now first, bile in your body helps you excrete cholesterol and fats and things from your body. Okay, bile helps to, what's the word I'm looking for? Break down. It helps you break down those toxins and the cholesterol and the fats. So your liver will excrete bile, and it goes into the gallbladder to be stored. And while it's in the gallbladder, it is concentrated. Okay, so it makes it easier to digest. So you've got all of this stuff that is coming from the liver, and it's going into your gallbladder. Okay, and the gallbladder has the bile in it, and it is concentrating it. Okay, so here's like a really good explanation I took right from my liver rescue book. It says your liver continues to manufacture bile, but there's no longer a place to store it or concentrate it. So it slowly trickles into the intestines. If you eat a fatty meal, you will not be able to secrete a large enough amount of bile into your intestines. Therefore, the fat is poorly digested. This means many people experience diarrhea, bloating, nausea, or indigestion. Here's something important though. Not digesting fat well means you will not be able to digest essential fatty acids, including omega-3 and omega-6 fats. It also means you'll have a hard time absorbing fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamins D, E, A, and K. I was like, okay, this makes complete sense as to why I'm low on vitamin D. And according to, statistics that I saw somewhere, about 40% of the American population is walking around without a gallbladder, so it would explain why a lot of the population is low on vitamin D. And vitamin D is so important for your health as far as mood, digestion, hormone levels, and even in our current pandemic situation. So that was interesting. I was like, because I have had problems, I would either be constipated or I would have diarrhea, I have bloating, I have gas, and I thought, well, maybe I have irritable bowel syndrome, or maybe I have, it's a gluten intolerance. And so I thought, let me check into that. Well, as I'm reading through my liver book, we're looking at why I had a gallbladder problem in the first place. I was like, I always wondered that. How did my gallbladder get to the condition of being gangrenous, full of sludge and stones? Well, it says here in my book, it says that I developed a gallbladder problem in the first place because I had an unhealthy liver. If your liver is not healthy, it will make poor quality bile. The bile will be prone to forming sludge and stones, exactly what I had. Just whipping the gallbladder out doesn't solve the problem. And in fact, sludge and stones can form within the liver, compromising its function. So I've had in my life, gallstones were not the first. Well, actually, I had no idea there was an issue with my liver until I was having an attack. And when I went to the hospital, it was like, this thing has to come out now, because I was having issues. The last thing they did when they did a test on me was in this area where your gallbladder is, because they were actually thinking it was my appendix. But when they got up in there with an ultrasound, I was actually, at this point, vomiting what looked like coffee grounds or coffee sludge. And they're like, this needs to come out now. So apparently that was like backing up into my stomach probably. So hope you weren't eating dinner or anything like right there at that moment. So sorry about that. But this explains that it's not necessarily I had a problem with my gallbladder. Let's go back and find the root cause of the problem, which was an unhealthy liver. We have overworked livers. Most Americans do, and you can tell. Just look at people around you with, rates unhealthy people. If you've ever seen the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead with, I think the guy's name is Joe Cross. I can't remember his last name. Is Joe. Reboot with Joe. I've done his programs before. And he went all across America talking about the condition of Americans. We're fat, sick, and nearly dead. And he went on this juicing fast, if you will, where he fasted on just juicing fresh fruits and vegetables. And then he did it for like 60 days, I think. And then, of course, throughout the documentary, he's talking about statistics of people diabetic and overweight, obese, people that are on heart medications, all kinds of things. He was able to go off all of his medications, and he did this with a doctor. So you should check out that documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And I'll leave a link down below because actually it was very, very eye-opening when I watched it the first time. So some of the tips to follow is keeping my intake of dairy products and grains to a minimum or avoid them altogether. So I have no problem with the grains. That's out of my diet. But the dairy products, I have cream in my coffee, so I might have to think about that. I don't know about that. Okay, it also said that food intolerance is a common cause of gallbladder problems, and there is research that links gluten intolerance with gallstones. So I'm like, okay, I was probably having something going on. I just never really knew about it because back 17 years ago when I had it out, I didn't know anything about gluten and gluten-free and all these things. So I can do that. And then another thing is eat some good fats and avoid the bad fats. So I thought, okay, I can do that. I've got pecans of coconut. I have got some avocados. I do have coconut milk, so I can probably make some smoothies with coconut milk. So I'm going to be doing that. But one of this important thing is what got me started on all of this research anyway, was the ox bile supplements. Here we go. Bile salts booster with taurine And it says it's good apple nutritionals, and I actually got this off of Amazon. It was the number 3 out of the top 10 bile supplements, and the top 2 were sold out, and one of them was Dr. Berg's bile supplements, or bile salts, I'm sorry. There are 180 capsules in here, and you take 1 capsule at a time, but the actual directions, the suggested use on this says, for best results, randomly alternate the number of capsules, taking 1, 2, or 3 with meals. So I started just like taking 1 just to see like, what is this going to do to me? You know, like, I don't know what's going to do to me. But if I have, you know, I've taken with a major meal that I would have, it's mostly been breakfast and dinner that I do, and I just take 1 with that. And I got up to taking just 1 capsule 3 times a day. And you know what, I've been doing this since the last video for about a week, and I actually think it might be helping. I actually feel a little better. Now, what the ox bile salts do, ox bile supplement is the most important recommendation for people who have lost their gallbladder. A lack of bile can produce symptoms such as bloating and indigestion after meals, light-colored stools, diarrhea, fatigue after meals, and nutrient deficiencies, which I've experienced those. So taking a good quality ox bile supplement with each meal is wonderful for completely eliminating these symptoms in most individuals. So I have done it so far for about a week, and I actually feel fairly good. I feel lighter a little bit. And then vitamin D supplement, vitamin D3, this is going to help your liver. And it says if people with compromised liver or digestive function are often vitamin D deficient, and exposure of your skin, obviously you guys have heard this, I know, I'm not saying anything that nobody, hasn't heard before. Exposure of your skin to the sun's UVB rays enables your body to manufacture vitamin D. But this process occurs in your liver and kidneys. People with a sluggish liver often do not manufacture vitamin D adequately. Therefore, it's a good idea to get a blood test, which I had, and then take a supplement, which he told me to take a minimum of 2 vitamin D a day. Now, you're going to want to talk to your doctor about this. For you, the medical medium book that I have, it says that 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 is safe and effective dose for most people, but it's best to be guided by your own doctor, right? So I take 2,000 vitamin D. I have had to take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. Now that's when I was extremely low, but he told me to just start, that first month he wanted me to take like 3, and then I backed down to 2. And one of the things I read was also with the ox bile salts to take that with when you take vitamin D3, so that it will help you absorb that. So just want to make one extra disclaimer. All the information that I've read, it says that it has not been evaluated by the FDA and is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Okay, so again, you can write these things down, ask your doctor about them, look for them on Amazon if you want to. Maybe this is something that you're experiencing, but I have been working on trying to get a healthy liver, because I know that the liver is central to a lot of things. I mean, it's one of your largest organs, and if your liver isn't functioning properly, it's going to lead to a lot of other problems in your body. And I think the root cause is the liver. So we're working on cleansing the liver. There is a liver cleanse that I have started looking into that I thought I might do, but I'm going to do a little bit more research, and maybe I will do that as part of a road to recovery. I need to recover myself at a cellular level as far as my physical health goes. And so these little boogers right here, just forewarning, when you open this and you smell it, it smells like pee. If you have a dog and you have gotten them bully sticks to munch on, to chew on for like as a like a de-stressor or a little snack or something like that, bully sticks, these smell like bully sticks. They really do. It's like, oh my gosh, it smells like you went to the farm, like you're standing on the farm and smelling the good old farm fresh air. All right, you you guys, and that is it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a blessed week, and until next time, peace, love, healing, y'all.